Well, that 3-on-3 was tough. I think we had extra guys on our side, but no, I think you expect that. I think, like you said, I think you put in the hard work in the summer and throughout camp for times, not early in the season, for later in the season when when you do start playing 3 games in 4 days, or when you're playing all the time and traveling all the time, you can still maintain and play that high pace kind of quality game. So a team that plays a high pace game like we do, I think it's important to do a lot of skating, to do a lot of up-tempo drills, so that when it comes to games, you're kind of used to that.
Obviously, you have a lot of familiarity with Max, but when it comes into training camp and there's so many guys, is it tough to get in a flow and to find that chemistry with a lot of young guys, a lot of kind of things, herky-jerky?
Yeah, I think as the games go on, like you might play with one guy that they might try you with, and then you might play with some young guys, and that's normal. I think you're used to that. I think it's a chance to kind of help the younger guys kind of build their confidence and kind of teach them a little bit, just because I think when you're going from juniors to the pros, you're going from college to pros, there's a big step, big learning curve, and sometimes it's nice to have someone help you. And I was in that position my first couple years in Colorado, where I was the one young guy kind of playing with different veterans all the time. I remember how much I learned just from playing for those guys and kind of just watching them and asking questions.
Can you talk about your relationship with Max? Obviously, does it originate from playing with USA Hockey together?
Trying to think. Actually, you know what? Small connection, but I remember I went to school with these 2 twin girls. Actually, were from the same town as Patch. So then when Patch was in Michigan, I think somehow I got brought up. So through them, I kind of knew him, and all of a sudden, because a lot of people in Connecticut kind of want you to see to Denver, so I had actually a couple buddies that grew up with them, and then kind of playing with Shad and Kirk, who played with him growing up. I think I was really close with Shaddy, and mutually, when you're really close to one guy and he's close with Shaddy, then all of a sudden you become close with him. So then you start playing them at different times, and you're kind of going out to eat on the road, playing with guys against on the ice, and obviously respect him as a player. And then I think playing the World Championships, we kind of knew each other a little bit, but then we hit it off right away playing with each other, and same thing, like similar upbringings. Grew up with this kind of same morals, same values, and so it's easy for us to relate kind of on and off the ice. Both family first guys, so I knew we'd hit off right away. Then on the ice, it was kind of another game. Good player, easy to play with. You know where you get out of them. Very simple, and for me, it's easy to play with guys like that.
You mentioned even your wives and your parents are friends.
Yeah. Well, like I said, when you're raised the same way, I think you kind of navigate towards those kinds of people. So I knew since the world's my wife and his wife have kind of always stayed in contact through text messages, then obviously through social media. Then also you start having kids and you kind of start kind of growing up together. So it's been fun. And I think it was something this summer we talked about of potentially where I might sign, or potentially where if you get traded, or if you're on the road, you didn't resign in Montreal. There's your options are always open. So it's just, I think you never believe it's going to come true, but when it came to fruition, I think we were both really excited.
Yeah. So when you signed here, are you kind of thinking maybe he could end up here, or is that not even in your mind? I mean, he mentioned during his press conference that he kind of talked to you, and then he talked about how cool he thinks Vegas is.
Yeah, it was funny. It was before I even started talking to teams, it kind of got brought up, and I didn't know too much about it. I think he knew some of the players, some of the coaches, and then all of a sudden when it became a reality, I think he talked and was talking about maybe you never know, it might happen, might not. Just because at the time there was rumblings that they were in contact and maybe making a trade or not. But it was something in the back of my mind. I was like, it'd be pretty cool if it worked out. But at the same time, I came in here knowing that expecting him not to be here and playing with really good players. And I think when you got traded, there's an added bonus in that. First guy I texted when I found out, probably almost before it was on Twitter, so it was probably it was late my time. No, when he got traded, yeah, I remember shooting him a text, so I found out right away, and then it was, God, for him it probably was midnight or 1. Yeah, it was midnight, because it was almost like 10 o'clock, 10 something Mountain Time, so I was super excited. So
what did you text him?
I just wrote, "Is it true?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And I just said, "Don't be yanking my chain. I just heard something." He's like, "What?" Because I don't think he wasn't sure if it was out yet or not. I think it just got released, So I think so his part is keep it quiet until it's released, and then obviously once he realized a minute later he looked online, it was released. I think then he was really excited.
He didn't tell you.
No, I think
you had to talk. You had to ask him.
He probably just sat there knowing his phone was going to blow up for the next 2 days. So,
of course.
At least he texted me back right away. I would expect a text back maybe 24 hours later, because you know, a position he's in. I think when there's rumblings all summer and he get traded, especially being the captain of Montreal, his phone must have just been blowing up. And I know for him the last couple of days has just been chaotic. And I think, like anyone, I think, you know, once you get on the ice, once you get going, then, you know, every day gets, you know, away from it, it's easier to kind of forget about it, just focus on here.
You're both kind of going through the same thing, moving to a new city, getting your kids in school. Is it easier to have a guy that you've known for a while and kind of go through it together?
That's what and that's what I said. I was like, selfishly, I was like, I'm actually really pumped. Not more on the ice, more off the ice. Actually, more just because now in the locker room, you know, I can have another forward that I'm close with. That's like, okay, we're both getting to know new faces, new players, and kind of both kind of, you know, not know what to expect. And, you know, it happened to me last year in Winnipeg, and early, you know, I was really close to Wheeler, so I was kind of sitting by his side. But I think this time around, when you have someone and same big families, kind of the same boat, then, you know, both go through kind of learning experience together.
Did you kind of compare things that people said when you signed here and then when he got traded here?
No, I don't know. Like I said,
What did you get? Like, what kind of stuff did you get via text or via?
Oh, I mean, a lot of positive messages from guys that, buddies or guys that played with kind of both of us, different players that we know, just, you know, how excited they are for me, or how you know, they're like, man, that's sick that you got him. Like, you guys are gonna be, you know, it's just like another kind of scoring punch, you know, to add to things. But like I said, those text messages, like, guys get really excited. But like I said, I've been through this thing long enough that just because you're good on paper doesn't mean it's going to translate on the ice. And I've been through experiences before, and I think he has too. That I think it's important to make sure everyone knows that, you know, just because there's a lot of hype around here doesn't mean anything. I think, like I said, it starts with what we did in the summer, it starts with what we do today, and constantly, you know, building as a team on and off the ice to kind of repeat that success from last year and kind of take the next step.
All right, no more hockey questions.